everyone, my name is Renee and thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. I hit 1k subs about 2 weeks back. I don't remember, and all thanks to you guys. I am a first year student here at Stellenbosch University, and on today's video I would like to film a question and answer, a get to know me tag, so you guys can get to know me. Technically, I will answer 10 questions, not more, not less. I hope it's 10 questions. I do not want to make it boring or long. I just want to give you guys an insight, not a backstory or my whole life information. So let us get straight into the video. The first question is, what is your name, or what are your full names? My name is Renee. I go by Renee. My full name is Renee Waramaport. If you would like to follow me on Instagram for personal or social reasons, you can follow me at renee.maport. Where are you from? This is the most asked question. I am from the Limpopo province. I am from Polokwane. A lot of people like guessing that I'm from Gauteng, like Pretoria or Johannesburg, but I'm actually from Polokwane, Limpopo. What are you studying? This is the most asked question as well. I am majoring in a social sciences degree. So it is within the BA faculty, which is Bachelor of Arts in Social Sciences. Yeah, so I'm majoring in the social sciences degree. Which residence do you stay? A lot of people have been asking this as well, and here we go. I stay in Metanoia, and be ready for this because I'm about to give you guys some secrets. Metanoia is a Stellenbosch University residence, and number one, it is catered. Number two, it is a mixed res, male and female. So if you do not like being with males in the residence, don't go for Metanoia. But you want to go for Metanoia because number one, it's catered. I like the fact that it's catered. That is a yes for me. Number two, I really like the fact that it's a mixed res, like mixed gender res, like males and females. I like that a lot. And number three, it's a single room res. There's no sharing in Metanoia. You get a single room. And for me, privacy, private space is a lot. You probably like, is this like a single restroom? Well, right now I am not in Metanoia. I'm in an open res. It is toward the end of exams, so you do move out from your residence when it's towards the end of exam, so that it is easier to evacuate. I don't know the real reason why we move out of our residences, but this is not Metanoia. I moved out here because towards the end of examination. Great, so I stay in Metanoia. You want to stay there, okay, unless you don't like the fact that it is catered or these males that stay there. I don't know. But I just like it. So cool. It's one of the best residences if you ask me. Moving on, do you have any friends? This question also gets asked a lot, like, hey, why are your videos always single mode, why are you always alone, etc. I don't know how to approach this question, but for me, social life was not the goal when coming to university. So I do not have a group of people that I associate with, or a specific person that I associate with here in university, because it's not really the goal as in yet. Especially as a first year student, I did not want to associate with anyone like that, you know, having to call someone like my friend, having to be there in that situation. I was not looking forward to that. Yes, I have acquaintances. Yes, I have classmates. Yes, I know there are people that I know that are studying the same course degree I'm studying, and I have casual relationships or friendships with them, but I wouldn't say I associate with the group of people or with the specific person as in yet. Another question is, how is a social life in Stellenbosch University? Well, for me, obviously, coming here, I specifically came to Stellenbosch University because of the social life. I did not want any social life, and I knew that in a quiet place like Stellenbosch, in a isolated place like Stellenbosch, it's very isolated. There's no much entertainment in Stellenbosch. It's a very small town, so social life for me was not the goal at all. But I'm sure you can figure something out because there's a lot of students here. There's a lot of people that might just have the same energy as you, etc. But one thing about having people that you associate with, which is friends, a social life in universities, for me personally, it is not as exciting because it can be very distracting. It can be very time consuming. So for me, it's a no. And you do not want to come here, jump up and associate with people that you really have knowledge about. How was your high school experience? I chosen this specific question because I hated high school. High school was my worst nightmare. Number one, I was a teenager, I was very young. I just hated the people in there. I hated high school. I hated waking up in the morning, going to class from Mondays to Fridays, seeing the same teachers, going to different classes, just sitting in their chair, dressing up in their navy uniform. I hated it. I hated high school with my life. Okay, that's it. I hated it. I still do. I still do. How was your gap year experience? My gap year experience was such an experience. It was 1 year where I experienced a lot of healing. I think it's a transition from high school to, after high school, and basically from teenage life or being a teenager to just fully being mature. A lot of stuff happened. My personality changed, the way my perspective changed, the way I view things changed, the way I speak changed. Not my accent or anything, but like my vocab. It just changed. It just changed a lot of things happened in that year. I spent a lot of time with family. I did activities outside academics. I spent a lot of time at church as well. I spent a lot of time reading. I had therapy as well, very therapeutic. I spent a lot of time doing what I wanted to do, being my own boss, outside academics, and just healing and growing. I grew a lot in my gap year. I grew a lot in my gap year. I don't say the things that I say. I don't dress the same way that I did. I don't sound the same. I don't think the same. Maybe it's because I just transitioned from being a teenager to being a mature 20-year-old. I wasn't 20 in my gap year. I was actually 18, turning 19. So, that whole transition. So for me, it was healing. There was a lot of growth and a lot of change. There was a lot of change as well. I did not regret taking my gap year. It was the most effective year, in terms of mental health, emotional purposes, and just growth as a person. Yeah. Why did you choose to study further from home? It was never the plan to study away from home. It really wasn't the plan. When I was in matric, I was planning on studying in Gauteng, which is either the University of Pretoria, Wits University, and the University of Johannesburg as the last option, of course. This is when I was in matric. But I decided to take a gap year. Through my gap year, I did a lot of growing. I was going through a lot of change and my perspective grew. And I was like, you know what? What if I travel all the way to Cape Town for schooling? What if, home for such a long time? Because I've been in Limpopo since I was born, literally. So then I was like, why not explore? Why not just move further away from home? I've spent so much time with my family. I can do it on my own. So that's when I decided that I will not be studying closer to home. I'd rather just explore and not waste my youth. Yeah, so I decided to just move away. I will answer 2 last questions and I will wrap up. Second last question is, how is academics? How is it being a student? How is the workload? How am I holding up? It's not that easy. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. It's much more than just going to class, studying, and pass. That's basically what we did in high school. It's not any of that. Being a student, it's much more. There's a lot of work. A lot of work. I know people say there's a lot of work, but we study different courses. With my course specifically, I had a lot of writing, like not even writing, like type work. I had a lot of type work. I needed to submit a 3,000 typed work every week. That is a lot of work, and I was graded every week. That is a lot of work. That is, if you've ever written a 1,500 word essay for just one semester essay, imagine having to submit a written text every week. That was a lot for me. Sometimes you submit late, and if you submit late, it is a total zero. Being a student is a lot. Mental health, going to class, sometimes you're not even consistent going to class because there's so much work. You can't even wake up in the morning and go to class. Sometimes you'd wake up late for class. Sometimes it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I can't start to explain how much work it is. I remember I used to cry a lot, especially in first semester. That was a lot of work. And if you do not submit, there's no one that you're going to speak to. There's no one you're going to say, you know what, I'm sorry, I didn't submit. It doesn't work like that, because in Stellenbosch University, I don't know in other universities, the lectures change after almost 2 weeks. Every small course is a different lecture. So you can't be like, lecture or doctor whoever, professor whoever, I'm sorry, I couldn't submit. Like, that's just so high school. If you didn't submit, nobody cares. It's a zero. Without any valid reason, forget it. Forget it. And the worst thing is, even if you don't submit or submit late, at the end of the day, you need to submit. And late submission is a total zero. If you submit late, it's a total zero, but you still need to submit. That's just the hard part of it. Being a student is not easy, okay? I can't explain it right now. The idea of this video is not to explain my student life. Being a student is very difficult. You need to be mentally prepared. You need to push your way through, because if you don't, you will quit. Okay, you will quit. There's times where you're like, you know what, I can't do this. Universities require more than 25 hours of you in a day. Most ridiculous thing ever. So it is really tough. You need to push your way through it. I don't remember how many times I've cried, called my mom, thought of quitting, changing courses, the list goes on. And lastly, how is it being a first-year student at Stellenbosch University? Overall, it's been a beautiful year, but there's always a but, I don't know. But you need to understand that Stellenbosch University is one of the top universities in South Africa. So if you do want to get into Stellenbosch University, if you do get in Stellenbosch University, the work never stops. You just keep working every single day. Maybe it differs from course to course, but the course that I'm studying, there's no rest. You just never sleep. Like, my sleeping hours changed. The work never stops. Like, I could be having a 3,000 word essay or document to submit, and a test tomorrow, and another assignment for another module. It just never stops. I just can't exaggerate it more. Maybe it just sounds cliche that student life is hectic or is a lot of work. It's not cliche. It will drain you. It will. It's just a natural selection type of vibe. Natural selection. Like, if you're gonna be willing to endure the hardship, you will survive. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back with another video, and thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. Bye.